the Lincoln's Online website. All those guys there are always so nice helping me out every time I need something. A lot of real experts there. So I'm going to undertake a job today, and I figured I'd videotape it maybe for the next guy that may come along and have to do a similar job. This is a fan belt tensioner, and I suspect that mine is going bad. Now this car has been squealing all the time when it gets cold. I put a new fan belt on it. This pulley I put on, and the car still squeals when it gets cold, and occasionally you'll hear it. So I'm like, geez, what could it be? You know, and I recently put an air conditioning compressor on. There's just a few things left. So, and if you ever try to listen to these noises, when the car's running, sometimes it just drives you crazy. This device here kind of puts tension on the fan belt as the car is running, you know. And it adjusts right here automatically to keep the tension on. Now this part lists for $104.21. I was nice. The guys at the Ford garage actually treat me pretty decent. I got this part for $55. Now, even though you have a Lincoln, you could still go to Ford garage and buy parts. So that's kind of what I do a lot of times. And you'll find sometimes the original Ford part can actually be pretty competitive. I think this is $55 at Advance Auto and an aftermarket part. So we're going to give this a try today. And I'm just going to video it as I go along. I don't claim to be an expert, but just kind of a backyard mechanic. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to have to do is remove the radiator shroud here. So let me get my tools ready. Now to take this radiator cover off, if you look right here, oh by the way, I usually wear these latex gloves that I can get. You can get these latex gloves at Harbor Freight. And if you have the kind of job where you want to keep your hands clean, you could use these. Now, if you look like right here, this device kind of slides right here. Now what this is the bottom of the circle of the radiator shroud. So you kind of push it and you'll see it kind of works out. There probably was a clip there at one time, but it's not there. Okay, now that comes right off. And that's the whole bottom cover. You can get a perspective on it right there. Okay, now the next step is to loosen this bolt. And there's the second one, like right here. Looks like it's 5/16. Okay, there's a plug here for the, this is a motor that runs this. There's a fan in front of this. So this shroud is plugged in right here. So we have to unplug it there. And you'll see, let's see if we can catch that on camera. Like it kind of slides into position like right there too. So it has to lift up. So let me get that unplugged. Okay, it's unplugged. Now you're going to be pulling this thing thinking, geez, why isn't it coming out? What's left? What's holding it? And if you look down in there, you'll see the radiator hose. And once I get this cover out, I got to get my hands in there. I can't really show you what I'm going to do till I get it out, and then you'll kind of get a grip on how it works. You'll feel that the hose has to be lifted out of these two slots where it goes. Okay, here you can kind of see how this kind of goes on the inside. And that bottom radiator hose kind of lays in here. Probably a trick to these things. Oh yeah, they kind of slide into position. I just actually picked the hose up right over top of it. All right, let's take it out. Okay, now that it's out, you can see when you put it back together, you know, this piece kind of slid in and kind of completes the inner circle. But if this is, you couldn't get it past the fan if this was in the way. The way you take the tension off the fan belt is this, you'll see there's a hole right there. And this is a 1/2 inch socket that kind of slides in there. And you kind of spring the tension downward. And the fan belt, you pull the fan belt out of the way. Okay, you can see where I have the socket in. And when you press down, you'll see where the tension comes off the fan belt. Position here somewhere. Okay, it's off. Now the trick is to remember exactly how that belt goes. If you forget, it's usually written on the car here, right here. Of course, just to make it interesting, we're into metric. I don't have a camera guy here, so I'm going to do everything. Okay, we'll get this part off. Okay, the guys at the Ford garage told me this part changed through the years. So I'm glad they told me that. And you can see that the device for the ratchet went here before, and now it goes here. Who knows, maybe that saves them money or something, I don't know. But the bolt pattern looks the same. For some reason, this device here is on the old one. What that does, I don't know, but we'll just transfer it over. And when you see these things, it may be beyond your understanding. Maybe somebody watching this video can explain what that device does. But this is kind of where it goes on. And let's take a listen to it and see if it might be the culprit. Another thing, for a backyard mechanic, I've made this mistake through the years too. Whenever you unbolt something off the front of the engine, keep track of what bolts go where, because occasionally you'll get that these bolts will not be different sizes, and then when you go to put it all back together, you'll be trying to figure it all out. So luckily these are all the same size, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. Okay, here's the old one. Now this car has 120,000 miles on it. You got to figure how much work this little pulley right here has done in 120,000. See that? That might be where the squeak's coming from. It actually gets kind of high pitched. Here's the new one. Smooth. The back.